You are currently participating in a transaction you never signed for, yet you pay the installments with the only currency that actually matters, the unrenewable minutes of your existence. You wake up, and before your eyes even adjust to the light, you have already offered your first sacrifice to the machine. You check the glass rectangle in your hand, seeking a hit of dopamine to numb the low-level dread that hums in your chest like a faulty fluorescent bulb. You think you are working to buy freedom, to buy comfort, to buy a future where you can finally stop. But look closely at the walls of your life. Every luxury you chase, every status symbol you polish, every hour you sell to a job that treats you like a replaceable gear is a brick in a prison you are building for yourself. You aren't just a victim of the system. You are its primary investor. You are financing your own slavery. And the most terrifying part is that you've been taught to call it success. The tragedy of the modern soul is not that we are unhappy, but that we are almost happy. We live in a state of perpetual almost. We are almost satisfied, almost fulfilled, almost awake. We have traded the terrifying beauty of true existence for the lukewarm safety of a simulated life. We surround ourselves with noise because the silence is where the truth lives, and the truth is whispering that you are wasting your life. We are experts at anesthesia. We use career goals, digital distractions, and the endless pursuit of more to drown out the existential scream that echoes from the core of our being. This is the tax the system levies on your consciousness. It requires you to be just distracted enough to not notice the chains, but just productive enough to keep the engine running. You are a battery for a world that does not love you. If this resonates, consider subscribing. Think about the people on their deathbeds. They don't wish they had spent more time at the office or bought a faster car. They regret the things they didn't do because they were too busy maintaining the illusion. They regret the masks they wore to please people who never truly saw them. They regret the silence they kept when they should have screamed. They realize too late that they spent their entire lives preparing to live, only to find that the life they were preparing for has already passed them by. You are on that same trajectory. Every time you say later to your soul's deepest longing, you are signing a contract with your future regret. You are trading your authenticity for a paycheck that you then spend on distractions to help you forget how much you hate the job. It is a closed loop of self-consumption. But here is the twist. This exhaustion you feel, this crushing weight of pointlessness, is not a bug in your programming. It is the beginning of your liberation. The system wants you to think your depression or your anxiety is a chemical imbalance that needs to be fixed so you can go back to being a productive member of society. But what if your malaise is actually a sign of health? What if your soul is simply refusing to participate in a lie anymore? The collapse of your interest in the trivial is the birth of your interest in the essential. The void you feel is not an emptiness to be filled, it is a space being cleared. You are not falling apart, you are being dismantled. The you that was built by the system is dying so that the you that is real can finally breathe. Arthur Schopenhauer once remarked that existence is a pendulum that swings back and forth between pain and boredom. We work ourselves to the bone to achieve a goal, and the moment we reach it, the pleasure evaporates, leaving us with a hollow sense of, is this it? To escape the boredom, we find a new desire, a new chain, and the cycle repeats. We are slaves to the will, a blind driving force that cares nothing for our happiness. Nietzsche took this further, warning us of the last man, the creature of ultimate comfort who has no aspirations beyond a warm bed and a harmless pleasure. The last man has traded his greatness for security. He has his little pleasure for the day and his little pleasure for the night. Does that sound familiar? Is your life anything more than a series of little pleasures designed to make the slow erosion of your soul feel tolerable? If this resonates, consider subscribing. The system is a hall of mirrors. It shows you an image of who you should be, a version of yourself that is always one purchase away, one promotion away, one like away from perfection. You spend your life chasing that reflection, never realizing that the mirror is consuming you. You give it your energy, and it gives you back a distorted image of value. We have become what Martin Heidegger called das Man, the they. We think what they think, we want what they want, and we live how they live. We are lived by the system rather than living ourselves. We are anonymous, replaceable, and profoundly lost. We have lost our Dasein, our being there. We are everywhere and nowhere, scattered across digital landscapes and corporate spreadsheets, while our physical bodies decay in cubicles and cars. Imagine a bird born in a cage. This cage is not made of iron bars, but of expectations and algorithms. The bird is fed precisely enough to keep its feathers bright, but not enough to give it the strength to fly. Over time, the bird forgets that it has wings. It begins to admire the craftsmanship of the cage. It decorates its perch. It looks at the other birds in their cages and competes with them for the best birdseed. Eventually, the door to the cage is left wide open, but the bird does not leave. It is afraid of the sky. The sky is too big, too uncertain, too real. The bird has financed its own cage with its own forgotten potential. You are that bird. Your cage is your comfort zone. Your birdseed is your salary. Your forgotten sky is the life you were meant to live before the world told you who you were supposed to be. The visceral reality of your situation is that you are a biological entity with a finite number of heartbeats, living in a civilization that treats you as a data point. You are being farmed. Your attention is the crop. Your emotions are the fertilizer. The system triggers your fear to make you buy protection. It triggers your insecurity to make you buy status. It triggers your loneliness to make you buy connection. It is a predatory architecture that feeds on your lack of self-awareness. Every time you scroll through a feed, feeling that familiar pang of not enoughness, you are being harvested. You are paying for the privilege of being manipulated. You are the product, the consumer, and the financier all at once. We are warned against the obvious traps, the drugs, the overt crimes, the visible ruins. But the most dangerous traps are the ones that look like a good life. A stable job that kills your spirit slowly over 40 years is more dangerous than a crisis that breaks you in a week. A crisis demands a response. A slow death demands only compliance. We are addicted to the mechanical life. We wake up at the same time, take the same route, perform the same tasks, and speak the same platitudes. We are living ghosts, haunting our own lives. We seek refuge in hedonism, thinking that a weekend of excess can compensate for a week of soul-crushing labor. But hedonism is just another form of slavery. It is the holiday the master gives the slave to keep him from rebelling. It is a pressure valve, not a liberation. If this resonates, consider subscribing. The new paradigm is not about fixing your life within the system. It is about withdrawing your investment from the system entirely. It is about moving from having to being. This is the core of the existentialist challenge. Jean-Paul Sartre argued that we are condemned to be free. This freedom is terrifying because it means we have no excuses. We cannot blame the system, our parents, or our circumstances for the emptiness of our lives. If you are a slave, it is because you have accepted the currency of the slave master. To be free is to reclaim your authority. It is to look at the rewards the system offers and realize they are worthless. It is to choose the anxiety of freedom over the security of the cage. It is to live with integrity, which means your internal world and your external actions are one and the same. You might say, but I have bills to pay, I have responsibilities. I can't just quit everything. This is the voice of the cage speaking. It equates life with lifestyle. You don't have a responsibility to your mortgage. You have a responsibility to your soul. Your bills are the price of the cage. Of course, we must navigate the material world, but there is a difference between using the system and being used by it. You can work a job without letting it own your identity. You can live in a house without letting it be the boundary of your world. The system wins when it convinces you that there's no you outside of your role in the machine. Managing this objection requires a radical honesty. What are you actually afraid of losing? Are you afraid of losing your life, or are you afraid of losing your toys? Consider the story of a man who had everything. Let's call him Elias. Elias was the epitome of the financed slave. He had the high-rise apartment, the luxury SUV, the designer clothes, and a social circle of equally successful ghosts. He spent 60 hours a week at a firm that specialized in predatory lending, literally financing the slavery of others. One evening, standing on his balcony overlooking the city, he had a panic attack. But it wasn't just fear. It was a total collapse of the narrative. He looked at his expensive watch and saw not the time, but the thousands of hours of his life he had traded for it. He looked at his apartment and saw a velvet-lined coffin. He realized that if he died that night, his obituary would be a list of possessions, not a record of a life. Elias didn't find himself through a vacation. He went through a dark night of the soul. He lost his job because he could no longer pretend to care. His friends vanished when he stopped being a useful node in their network. He moved to a small, quiet place. He felt the crushing weight of the void. He felt the boredom Schopenhauer talked about. But in that boredom, something happened. He started to hear his own thoughts. He started to feel the texture of the air, the taste of simple food, the weight of his own presence. He stopped financing his slavery and started investing in his existence. He realized that he didn't need to do anything to be worthy. He just needed to be. The system had no more power over him because he no longer wanted what it was selling. If this resonates, consider subscribing. This transformation is a form of death and rebirth. You must be willing to let the system self decompose. Just as a fallen tree in a forest becomes the soil for new growth, your failed expectations and broken illusions are the nutrients for your true self. The void is not your enemy, it is your master. It is the womb of all possibility. When you stop running from the emptiness, you realize it is actually a profound fullness. It is the space where God, or the universe, or the absolute, whatever you choose to call it, actually speaks. But you cannot hear it over the sound of your own frantic efforts to stay relevant in a world that is fundamentally irrelevant. You have to die to the matrix before you can be born into the real. How do you actually do this? You start by habiting the void. Instead of reaching for your phone the moment you feel a flicker of discomfort, you sit with it. You feel the itch of the addiction to distraction, and you don't scratch it. You look at your possessions and ask, does this serve my soul, or does it merely signify my status? You begin to recognize the conditioning of the system in your own speech, your own desires, and your own fears. You stop trying to win the game and you start trying to understand why you are playing it in the first place. You practice radical presence. You treat your time as sacred, not as something to be spent or killed. You stop being a consumer of life and start being a witness to it. This is not a call to move to a cave and eat berries. It is a call to a psychological insurrection. It is the realization that the system's power is entirely dependent on your participation. If you stop valuing what it values, its grip on you vanishes. When you no longer fear its judgments or crave its rewards, you are truly free. You can walk through the fire of the world and not be burned because you know that you are the fire. The empty, aching hole in your chest that you've been trying to fill with money, sex, and power is actually the keyhole to your liberation. The key is your own awareness. Stop financing your chains. Stop paying for the privilege of your own disappearance. If this resonates, consider subscribing. We are told that the system is an external force, a matrix of machines and governments. But the real matrix is internal. It is the collection of beliefs that tell you that you are small, that you are lacking, and that you must earn your right to exist. It is the voice that tells you that your value is tied to your productivity. To dismantle the system, you must dismantle the manager in your own head. You must fire the internal warden who keeps you locked in the cell of should and must. You must embrace the terrifying beauty of your own insignificance. In the grand scheme of the cosmos, your career is a joke. Your status is a whisper in a hurricane. And that is the most liberating realization you will ever have. When you realize that nothing the system offers actually matters, you are finally free to enjoy the things that do. A conversation with a friend, the way the light hits a leaf, the profound mystery of your own breath. These things are free, and yet they are the most valuable treasures in existence. The system cannot monetize them, so it tries to make you forget they exist. It tries to make you believe that a virtual experience is as good as a real one. It wants you to stay in the simulation because that's where you are most profitable. But you were not born to be profitable. You were born to be. You were born to experience the raw, unmediated intensity of being alive. The end-of-life regrets we discussed, the "I wish I hadn't worked so hard," the "I wish I'd stayed in touch with friends," the "I wish I'd let myself be happier," these are all cries from the soul that has realized it financed the wrong life. They are the screams of the bird who stayed in the cage even after the door was opened. Don't be that bird. Don't wait until your heart is failing to realize that you never actually used it. Don't wait until your eyes are dimming to realize you never truly looked at the world. The time to stop financing your slavery is now. Not when you have enough money, not when you have retired, but this very second. You do it by withdrawing your consent. You do it by choosing truth over comfort. Søren Kierkegaard wrote that the most common form of despair is not being who you are. We live in a world of profound despair because we are all pretending to be someone else. We are all actors in a play that we didn't write, performing for an audience that isn't paying attention. But the theater is on fire. The system is unsustainable, both ecologically and psychologically. The walls are starting to crack. You can either stay in your seat and wait for the roof to collapse, or you can walk out of the theater and into the night. It will be dark. It will be cold. It will be uncertain. But for the first time in your life, you will be outside. You will be free. The Matrix is not a movie. It is the default state of the unexamined life. It is the automatic pilot that drives your car while you dream of a better future. It is the invisible hand that reaches into your wallet and takes your time. But once you see the hand, it loses its power. Once you realize that you are the one signing the checks, you can simply put down the pen. You can choose to be unproductive in the eyes of the machine. You can choose to be unsuccessful by its standards. Because its success is your failure as a human being. Its progress is your regression as a soul. To stop financing your slavery is to begin financing your soul. If this resonates, consider subscribing. This is the reframe. The very emptiness that you have been trying to escape is actually your greatest asset. It is the vase that Heidegger spoke of, the call of conscience that pulls you away from the they and back to yourself. The void is the space where you can finally hear yourself think. It is the canvas upon which you can finally paint your own life. Stop trying to fill it. Start living in it. Let the silence teach you. Let the darkness show you the stars. Let the collapse of your old life be the foundation of your new one. You have nothing to lose but your chains, and you have a world to win. Not the world of the system, but the world of the real. We spend our youth trading our health for wealth, and our old age trading our wealth for health. It is a fool's bargain. We spend our midlife trading our presence for security, only to realize that there is no such thing as security in a world where everything dies. The only security is the strength of your own spirit. The only wealth is the depth of your own awareness. Everything else is a loan from the system, and the interest rate is your soul. Stop paying the interest. Default on the loan. Let the system repossess the masks and the toys. They were never yours anyway. What remains after the repossession is the only thing that was ever real. The I am that exists before the I have. The final synthesis of this journey is the realization that the system is not something you defeat. It is something you outgrow. You don't fight the cage. You simply become too large to fit inside it. You expand your consciousness until the boundaries of the matrix are no longer visible. You move from the narrow corridor of survival to the vast ocean of existence. The problem was never the system. The problem was your belief that you needed it. The problem was your fear of the void. But now you know that the void is your home. Now you know that the slavery was just a dream you were having because you were afraid to wake up. If this resonates, consider subscribing. Wake up, look at your hands, look at the room around you. This is it. This is the only moment you are guaranteed. Are you going to spend it financing your own disappearance, or are you going to spend it being here? The system wants you to live in the future or the past, because that's where it can control you. But it has no power in the now. The now is the only place where you are free. The now is the only place where the system cannot follow. Leave the machine behind. Walk out into the sunlight of the present moment. It is beautiful, and it is terrifying, and it is yours. In the end, we are all just travelers on a very short journey. We come from the dark, and we return to the dark. The matrix is just a flicker of neon light in between. Don't spend your few precious moments staring at the neon. Turn around, look into the dark, find the light that comes from within. That light is not for sale. It cannot be taxed. It cannot be enslaved. It is the only thing you will take with you when you leave. Invest in that. Finance your awakening. Buy back your time with the currency of your courage. The door is open. It has always been open. You just had to stop paying for the privilege of keeping it closed. Albert Camus once said that the only way to deal with an unfree world is to become so absolutely free that your very existence is an act of rebellion. This is your task, to live so authentically, so deeply, and so truly that the system doesn't know what to do with you. To be a glitch in the matrix by being a whole human being. To stop being a consumer and start being a creator, not a creator of content, but a creator of meaning. To stop being a slave and start being a master, not of others, but of yourself. The cost of this freedom is everything you thought you were. The reward is everything you actually are. If this resonates, consider subscribing. This path is not for everyone. Most people will choose the comfort of the cage until the very end. They will complain about the birdseed, but they will never fly. That is their journey, but it doesn't have to be yours. You have felt the pull of the sky. You have heard the whisper of the void. You know that there is more than this. You are ready to stop financing your own destruction. You are ready to reclaim your life. The first step is to see the cage for what it is. The second step is to stop building it. The third step is to walk away. As you move through your day, watch yourself. Watch the moments where you sell yourself out for a bit of comfort or a bit of praise. Watch the moments where you choose the mechanical over the vital. Each of these moments is a payment on your slavery. Stop the payment. Choose the vital. Choose the uncomfortable truth over the comfortable lie. Choose the silence over the noise. Choose yourself over the they. It will feel like dying at first. That's because the part of you that belongs to the system is dying. Let it die. Don't try to revive it. Something far more beautiful is waiting to be born in the space it leaves behind. The system relies on your amnesia. It needs you to forget who you are every single morning so it can tell you who you are through a screen. It needs you to forget your mortality so it can sell you forever. It needs you to forget your power so it can sell you solutions. Remember that you are a miracle of biology and consciousness. Remember that you are a witness to the universe. Remember that your time is the most precious substance in the cosmos. Don't give it away for nothing. Don't sell it for a bit of plastic and a bit of digital clout. We are living in an age of profound spiritual poverty amidst material abundance. We have everything, and yet we have nothing. We have conquered the world, but we have lost ourselves. This is the ultimate failed investment. We have financed a global civilization that is a monument to our own alienation. But the civilization is just a reflection of our collective internal state. To change the world, you must change your internal economy. You must stop valuing what the system tells you to value. You must create your own currency of meaning. You must be the one who decides what is wealthy. If this resonates, consider subscribing. This is the final warning. The system is getting more efficient. The cages are getting more comfortable. The birdseed is getting more addictive. The distractions are getting more immersive. If you don't wake up now, You might never wake up. You might find yourself at the end of your life, looking back at a series of well-financed screens, realizing that you never actually lived. You were just a spectator in your own life. You were the one who paid for the ticket to watch yourself die slowly. Don't let that be your story. Rip up the ticket. Walk out of the theater. The void is calling. It's not a call to fear, but a call to love. To love yourself enough to stop betraying yourself. To love the truth enough to stop living a lie. To love life enough to actually live it. The system cannot survive a person who loves life more than they fear death. It cannot control someone who wants nothing it has to offer. When you reach that state of holy indifference to the rewards of the matrix, you are truly dangerous. You are a free agent in a world of slaves. You are a light in a world of shadows. This is the reframe. The problem of your emptiness, your boredom, and your frustration is actually your greatest gift. It is the friction that will eventually spark the fire of your awakening. Don't run from it. Embrace the friction. Let it burn away everything that is not you. Let it destroy the financed slave so that the sovereign human can emerge. The process is painful, but the result is magnificent. You are the architect of your own undoing, but you are also the architect of your own liberation. Stop building the prison. Start building the soul. Think of the regrets of the end of life, not as a tragedy to be feared, but as a map to be followed. If the dying regret not being true to themselves, then the way to live is to be radically authentic now. If they regret working too hard, then the way to live is to prioritize presence over productivity now. If they regret not expressing their feelings, then the way to live is to be vulnerable now. You don't have to wait until the end to know what matters. You already know. You've always known. You just allowed the system to drown out that knowledge with the noise of success. Quiet the noise. Turn off the screens. Sit in the dark. Feel the weight of your own existence. It is heavy, it is real, and it is the only thing that belongs to you. Everything else is a rental. Everything else is a debt. Stop paying the debt. Reclaim your ownership. Be the master of your own attention. Be the author of your own meaning. The matrix only exists as long as you believe its promises. Stop believing. Start seeing. Start being. If this resonates, consider subscribing. The system wants you to think that liberation is something you buy. A course, a retreat, a book. But liberation is something you do by stopping. You stop the cycle. You stop the pursuit. You stop the financing. It is a via negativa, a path of subtraction. You don't need to add anything to yourself to be free. You need to remove the things that are enslaving you. You need to shed the layers of conditioning, the layers of expectation, and the layers of fear. Underneath it all, the free human is already there, waiting. We are like people sitting in a dark room, terrified of the monsters in the corners, not realizing that we are the ones holding the flashlight. We are the ones illuminating the fears that keep us paralyzed. Turn the light around. Look at the one who is holding the flashlight. Look at the I that is aware of the fear. That I is not afraid. That I is not a slave. That I is the source of all power. When you identify with the source rather than the shadow, the system's game is over. You have won by refusing to play. The tragedy of modern man is that he has forgotten how to be alone. Because he cannot be alone, he must be a part of the they. Because he must be a part of the they, he must follow their rules. Because he follows their rules, he becomes a slave. Break the chain at the first link. Learn to be alone. Learn to inhabit the silence of your own soul. When you are no longer afraid of your own company, you are no longer a target for the system's manipulations. You are self-contained. You are sovereign. You are free. The system is a ghost. It only has power because we breathe life into it with our attention and our desires. Stop breathing life into the ghost. Let it fade. Focus your life force on what is real. Focus on the people you love, the work that actually matters to you, and the mystery of your own consciousness. These are the only things that will survive the collapse of the illusion. These are the only things that will matter when the lights finally go out. If this resonates, consider subscribing. We have reached the end of the script, but the beginning of your life. The synthesis is simple. The system is a machine that converts human life into cold capital. You are the fuel. You can choose to keep burning in the engine, or you can choose to step out of the furnace. The void you fear is the open air. The loss you fear is the removal of your chains. The failure you fear is the only true success. Stop financing your own disappearance. Start investing in your own presence. You are the currency. You are the bank. You are the master. You are the slave. The choice of who you will be in the next moment is entirely yours. Don't look to me for the answer. Don't look to the system for the answer. Look into the silence. Look into the void. The answer is already there, beating in your chest, waiting for you to finally listen. You have paid enough. The debt is settled. You are free to go. The only question is, do you have the courage to walk through the door? As the pendulum of Schopenhauer swings, don't try to catch it. Don't try to stop it in the pleasure phase. Step off the pendulum entirely. Stand in the center, in the point of stillness where the swinging no longer affects you. That stillness is your true nature. That stillness is the death of the matrix. That stillness is the birth of the real. You are not a consumer. You are not a producer. You are the stillness. You are the witness. You are the one who is awake. If this resonates, consider subscribing. This is the last time I will ask. Not because I need your subscription, but because you need to decide if you are going to keep participating in the noise or if you are going to seek the signal. The signal is quiet. The signal is subtle. The signal is you. Everything else is just the sound of the machine grinding your life into dust. Stop the machine. Hear the signal. Be the signal. We are told that the world is a dangerous place and that we need the system to protect us. But the greatest danger is not what the world can do to you. It is what you can do to yourself by living a life that is not yours. The safety of the system is the safety of the grave. The danger of freedom is the danger of being alive. Choose the danger. Choose the uncertainty. Choose the raw, bleeding edge of existence. It is better to live one day as a free soul than 100 years as a well-financed slave. The irony of our slavery is that we are the ones who hold the key to our own selves. We are the jailers and the prisoners. We are the ones who decide that the birdseed is more important than the sky. But once you see the sky, the birdseed loses its flavor. Once you taste freedom, the cage feels like death. You cannot unsee the truth once you have looked it in the eye. You cannot go back to being a productive member of society once you have realized that society is a hallucination. The journey from slave to sovereign is the only journey that matters. It is the only career that pays in a currency that lasts. It is the only status that cannot be taken away. It is the work of a lifetime, and it begins with a single moment of radical honesty. Look at your life. Look at your chains. Look at your bank account of time. How much are you willing to spend on your own slavery today? Or are you finally ready to default on the loan and walk out into the light? The system will try to pull you back. It will use fear. It will use guilt. It will use the voices of the they who are still trapped in the cage. It will tell you that you are crazy, that you are selfish, that you are failing. Let it speak. Its words are just noise. Its threats are just shadows. You are moving toward something they cannot understand. You are moving toward the real. You are moving toward yourself. And in that movement, the system finally loses its grip. If this resonates, consider subscribing. We are building a community of the awake, a network of glitches in the matrix, not to save the world, but to save ourselves. Because when enough people save themselves, the world is already saved. The system cannot exist without slaves. If we all stop financing our slavery, the machine simply stops. It doesn't need to be overthrown. It just needs to be ignored. It needs to be starved of our attention and our desire. This is the final reframe. Your life is not a resource to be managed. It is a mystery to be lived. The matrix is just a set of instructions on how to manage the resource. Ignore the instructions. Dive into the mystery. Let the management fail. Let the productivity drop. Let the status crumble. What remains is the only thing that was ever worth having. What remains is you, unbound, unfinanced, unenslaved, for the first time, truly alive. The end of your life is not a distant event. It is a reality that is present in every heartbeat. Each breath is a reminder that your time is leaking away. Stop using that time to build someone else's empire. Stop using that time to polish your own cage. Use it to wake up, use it to see, use it to love. The system has no use for love because love cannot be quantified. It has no use for beauty because beauty cannot be sold. It has no use for you, the real you. So stop giving yourself to it. The transaction is over. You have the information, you have the map, you have the key. The only thing left is the act of rebellion itself, the act of choosing in this moment to be free, to stop being a cog and start being a human, to stop being a consumer and start being a soul, to stop financing your own slavery and start living your own truth. The Matrix is looking for you. It wants you back in your seat. It wants you back in the theater. Don't go back. Stay in the night. Stay in the dark. Stay in the real. If this resonates, consider subscribing. This is the last sentence of the script, but I hope it is the first sentence of your liberation. Remember, you are the financier of your own chains, but you are also the only one who can sign the order for your release. The pen is in your hand. The door is open. The sky is waiting. Don't look back. Don't hesitate. Just walk. Walk into the silence. Walk into the void. Walk into the life that you were always meant to live. You are not a battery. You are not a gear. You are not a data point. You are the universe experiencing itself through the lens of a human soul. Don't let the lens be clouded by the dust of the machine. Clean the glass. See the world. Be the light. The Matrix is just a dream you can choose to wake up from at any time. Why not now? Why not this second? Why not forever? Stop paying for your own imprisonment. The price of freedom is everything you thought you needed, but the reward is everything you actually are.